I am part of a very special task force.
Mm.
I'm going to be part of an investigation. I need to go through hundreds of hours of video footage in what I'm calling the Gnome investigation.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
The Gnome investigation.
I may have to come up with a better name.
I don't know. It's
That's
pretty
what
good.
I've got at the moment.
It's pretty
Someone,
good.
It's all I've got at the
Someone
moment.
stealing garden gnomes from your house?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Someone's
Yes, a gnome?
leaving garden gnomes at your house?
Possibly. So we had 4 garden gnomes.
This is
that
very
me and Hannah had-
mysterious.
Me and Hannah had painted garden gnomes over the years at Floriade. We go there, we paint gnomes, we put them out in front of the house, as you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 are currently missing.
Mm.
2 have been repainted.
What?
2 have been repainted, and they've had like little details added to them and freshened up. And then 2. So
What? So
I
they were
don't know if the other
taken
2
and then returned?
So
yes, and well,
these
I'm thinking
2
the
might
other
be
2 may have been
returned
taken and maybe
with
coming back.
details as well. Like someone's done a good job of it.
I wonder if it's the person who's mowing your lawn, probably.
Wow.
No, they've stopped doing
Yeah.
that. But
So whoever's looking at the
yeah.
lawn going, I need to cut that, has also gone, who the fuck painted this? What
So I've got
kindergartner?
my Ring camera, I've got my camera doorbell, and I'm going to go through, but I don't know what time frame, because you don't really pay attention to
Yeah.
gnomes at the front. So it could have been yesterday, it could have been 2 months ago that this happened.
Amazing.
That's so strange, but cool. Are there people in your neighborhood that you know that you might suspect? Or
Not what? No.
Who would you suspect?
Well, I don't know if you have a neighbor who's a bit of a
Well,
prankster.
no,
Who's
I feel like
crafty.
I wouldn't do that unless I knew the person.
In like the 80s, 90s, I knew people around the neighbourhood, and there are
Yeah.
people who might do, but now you
That's
don't know
because we
your
were
neighbours.
kids, I suppose.
I have
Yeah.
that again now,
Yeah.
where I live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm friends with all my neighbours, and we do stuff
That's pretty
outside
cool.
our houses in the evenings. And our kids
pretty
play
cool. Oh,
together.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do that.
No, it's incredible. I never knew I wanted that until I had it, and now it's amazing.
I could play with the coyotes, I guess.
You could, yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Maybe keep an eye on her while she's playing with the coyotes.
I have to keep an eye on her when she's outside.
Mate, you got to keep an eye on her when she's at fucking school. Yeah, I was at another shooting. Another school shooting.
Yeah, don't
Do we have to
remind
talk about this? It's a fucking problem. It's a
No.
real problem.
me. You don't have to tell me.
Fucking
Oh.
hell.
Did you see when they cut to Joe Biden, who was doing a press conference about it? He was just making jokes about sneaking upstairs or downstairs to get ice cream and stuff.
What?
Oh, God, he fucking loves
I don't
ice
think
cream.
he knew the cameras were on.
No.
That they'd cut across, but it's all that's
No.
you're getting ready to make an
Seriously,
announcement about
America.
how terrible
Well-
stuff is. And
When are we going to really talk about this? It's
I mean, that's
it's a
obviously-
fucking real problem now.
It's not appropriate, obviously, but then again, we'd be doing the same thing, right?
We're not
If you
the
were the
president.
If you were the president. No, of course. I'm aware of that. Yeah. No, it is a problem. And I think it's worse that, like, some of the governors and whatnot were posting pictures of their families holding guns, being like, oh, you know,
Jesus.
like, wait, what point are you trying to make?
That's the answer. More guns.
Yeah,
I did the
that's
terrible-
what they think. It's
That's
so
not how
strange to
maths
me.
works.
Yeah.
And that's not how
I did a
guns
terrible
work.
thing about going to the comment section.
Oh, don't do
I was
that.
reading comments and someone was saying like, oh, in Australia and England, like we had an incident, we did this, and they went, well, you don't have like Mexico below you with illegal immigrants coming in all the time. So like, they're not doing the shootings.
Yeah.
The one
No, I think
the-
they're saying they need the guns to shoot at the Mexicans.
okay, there's two things
Both,
that
probably.
are a factor that were not factors in both those cases, UK and Australia. One is that both those countries are surrounded by water, which does make it more difficult to get weapons in, right? But not impossible, right? But the other thing is there weren't as many guns in either of those countries as there are here. They're fucking everywhere.
Well, you can
Yep.
buy them at shops there.
That's what I'm saying. And like to get them
Go
all
to
back
Walmart,
is just
pick up a shotgun.
inconceivable. Like they're not going to give them back. So it is different by you know.
Yeah, because I know that.
I don't
in
think
Australia, they
pretending
did the
it's not a
buyback
problem
scheme.
helps. Like,
They did the buyback scheme, so everyone just bring your
Yeah.
guns, we will buy them back.
but I
It
think
sent
the
America
population's
bankrupt.
attitude was pretty different. Like to here, they're like, you have to fucking kill me to get them.
Well, here's the
Like,
thing.
well,
I
there's
could
the
still
solution,
go
Matt.
and get a gun. I could still go and get a gun.
All right.
quite easily.
All right.
Please,
All right, I'll stop.
whoever's
I'll
in
stop, I'll
charge
stop.
of that, do not get Luke have a gun.
No, but still, it's not. You can still get a gun in Australia if you want. It's just
You have to have a
jump
reason
through a
for it.
hell of a. No, I want to do target shooting.
Yeah, that's a reason.
Yeah,
Here, you don't even have to give
but
one.
Not, yeah,
And you have to continue to do target shooting, or they take the license away.
you also need to do shooting, like go to target ranges every sort of 6 months to keep your license and do all this stuff. It's not just you want a gun. Oh, okay.
Yeah, here I just go, what are you going to do with it? I'll pop it in my glove box in case I need it. Okay. Do you know how to use it? No.
Yeah. I'm
No
going to
idea.
conceal carry in case I see a Mexican.
Yeah. I'll figure out how to use it when I need to.
When I went to LA
All my kids will.
and me and Hannah
God.
went to the shooting range because I still love shooting.
Oh, yeah.
We went to shooting range.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
let's not
didn't-
pretend
I've
it's
never
not
fired
fun to shoot guns. That's not what I'm saying.
I've never fired a
But
gun, guys.
I've never fired a handgun before. I've always shot like rifles or shotguns. So they hand it over to me and I go, what do I do with it? Like they just handed me the bullets
Bangity bang.
and the gun. And
Well, they let you load it
you're
as
in that-
well.
You're in that lane. Yeah, you load it all. And I don't know how to load it.
No.
So, you should do this and away you go.
The only
People
time
would
I've
not
done it, they
expect
hand it to you
someone
preloaded.
Some people here wouldn't expect people our age to say, I don't know how to do that.
I now know how to.
What happens,
now-
Matt, is that somebody hands you a gun and goes, do you know how to use that thing? And then you do all sorts of things
Yeah.
to prove
Shoot
that
myself
you do.
in the leg.
Yeah, yeah.
And then go, no, I don't.
No, absolutely.
Call an ambulance.
Yeah. And in fact, I shouldn't have this.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go.
I still laugh at the one rule they had there at the gun ranges over there.
One rule.
You can't have... a guy can't go by himself,
No
This
entry
was a
without a
swing-
gun.
it's a
That's
swingers
the only
club.
rule.
but there's probably more rules.
No
but
single
a guy
men.
can't go by
but
himself,
You can have groups or single
but
women.
they have to go in groups.
Yeah.
But
I
single
see.
women can go because they're learning to shoot. But I'm sort of like, two men going together, that's when they're going to do stupid shit.
No. It's when one guy goes in each day alone with his
Yeah.
trench coat and goes, I need to learn
Oh,
to
I've brought
shoot.
my own targets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pop him up there. It? Yeah, it.
I want to
Yeah,
go
that's
shooting.
what I call my
again.
ex-wife.
Yeah, don't let Luke have a gun.
No.
Which kind of handgun did you shoot, Luke? Was it a revolver or a pistol?
It was just a pistol, so it was like a 9mm.
I did-
I wanted to shoot a revolver, but I forgot.
I did them both in succession. It's the only time I've never fired a rifle or anything. I've just done a
Yep.
15-minute session with a revolver and a 15 session with a pistol. The revolver is so heavy. Like when you see people in movies holding them, they're not going, oh fucking hell! Like it was so heavy. And then you pick up the pistol, and it doesn't even feel like metal. It's so light.
Yep.
It both
It's so
baffled
light.
me.
It's
I was
crazy.
surprised on both ends.
There's a shooting range just up the road. I could go do it, I suppose.
Yeah, it's called the woods outside your house, Matt.
Yeah. You can do that too. But I don't know exactly what the rules are about that. People do it because I can hear it sometimes. But yeah, I don't know exactly what the rules are.
Can you stand on your own property and shoot onto somebody else's property? That seems like something you shouldn't do.
I don't know. You can't
Like-
prove that I do know.
No. But for example, what I mean is, like,
I'm pretty sure you
if
can't.
if somebody was hunting and a deer wandered onto your property, do they have to be like,
I don't think
that's
so.
Matt's deer
I'm
now?
pretty sure you can't shoot animals on my property. Yeah, because I know the guy over the back. So because behind me is like 40 acres or something, and it is owned by somebody. And I do know from talking to my other neighbor that he does not like hunting, and he'll trash people's stuff if he finds it on his property.
Right.
And he always
if they
says,
build
"Don't
that
you
little
fucking-"
hut in the tree.
Yeah. Or if he finds trail cameras, he'll get rid of them.
Right.
Which is fair. It's his property.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And because the deer come through here, and I like them. Lyra fucking loves them.
Not bad.
We get home from preschool, and she'll walk down the driveway and go, deer,
Aw.
deer, just into the woods. Yeah,
Just hoping one
Just
will
calling
come
her
out and say
husband.
hi.
yeah. I told her they're
It's
not
funny
going to
how
come,
kids
honey.
do
If you
that.
call, the more you call them, the further they're going to run
that's
away.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't understand.
And then she uncocks the rifle.
Yes, that's right. And then I'm like, actually, could you teach me how to use that?
Yeah. She said, better that I don't, Dad.
Yeah, yeah, right. You can't be trusted, Dad.
No, but that's the thing, and I don't want to make this all about the gun issue. But if everyone's got a gun, I would prefer everyone knew how to use them. I think the only thing more dangerous than a
absolutely.
skilled gunman is an unskilled gunman.
Yeah,
Well, you hear you see stories all the time about how people shoot themselves when they're going to use the gun. So there was a robber who was, I think it was PlayStation 5 release or something.
Go on.
Midnight launch, robber comes up behind a guy like, give me the gun. He cocks the gun twice.
Oh no.
But because there was already a chamber in the round, he shot himself.
Jesus.
And that's from not knowing how to use a gun.
I mean,
it looks
I would
cool
definitely
to
do that.
Oh, it definitely
slide
looks
back.
cool, yeah, but it doesn't
You
look cool
don't need
shooting
to slide
yourself.
it back.
Yeah.
You don't need to slide it back. That's just to look cool.
Let's move on. Let's move on from
Sure.
anything else political. How's Jeremy Renner doing?
He's all right.
Yeah, good.
Although,
good.
I was somewhat shocked, only because I guess I didn't understand the extent of his injuries fully. He's just managed to walk.
Yeah, right.
I know they said it was very bad, but I didn't think it was that.
So
Right.
what did he
Like-
get caught up in? Like a
He got
combine
crushed by
harvester
a
or something?
Giant snowplow, like a giant machine.
Snowplow.
But not like just a normal
No, not
small
like
truck one, like a huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mr. Plow, that's his
someone
name.
pointed
That name
out
again is Mr. Plow.
up in Vermont. Someone said that's what Jeremy Renner got run over by, and I was like,
Oh,
"Fuck!"
right.
Like they're massive.
Yeah. Driven by Alec Baldwin.
Who is now on the run in Vermont again?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't turn the ignition.
But yeah, it's just. I mean, I'm glad he's all right. I just assumed he was more all right than he apparently was. But
I'm very glad he's all right. I think Jeremy Renner all around seems like a nice guy, and maybe that's just because he's Hawkeye, and you see him on the farm with his kids and all of that. But I just assume you can't pretend to be that if that's not who you really are.
The only thing that weirds me out about Jeremy Renner, and I know this is probably not even his fault or anything to do with him personally, is that he had his own. He tried to launch his own social media app that was just pictures of him.
Oh, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
And I thought that was
you had to pay to
very
join.
narcissistic. Yeah, exactly. No,
all
not just pay to
people.
join. You had to pay to boost your posts so that he might see them. And he might comment on them. Maybe. It was all very.
Is
weird.
there?
But this is very new to.
That sounds like something a publicist came up with. He was probably embarrassed by it.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't even know about it. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh,
I
you
hope
have to comment
it's
on these
that.
photos." All right.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Just go through. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Can I do it after I plow the lawn? Or
Yeah.
should have said no.
Look, I'm happy he's okay, and I know what it's like to learn to walk again.
Oh,
It sucks.
Jesus. Yeah.
So does my daughter. Well, only the first time.
Yeah, but the second time you don't get people cheering for you and go, yeah.
I bet you fucking do, mate.
That can't be true.
Nah.
I bet you
You
do.
physiotherapist going, does that hurt? Good. Do it again.
Jesus.
It's got to hurt.
I don't like
I'm
physiotherapist.
sure that was a physiotherapist. I think that was just some drunk behind the.
No, physiotherapists, I love them and hate them because they're there to help you, but a lot of times
tough
they're
love.
helping is making you do stuff that you're not going to enjoy.
I had some knee pain and I went. The doctor said go see this physio, and I was like, I'm going to get a nice massage or something out of this. No, fucking torture, mate.
Mm-hmm. But did you feel better after it?
Yeah, my knees are way better than they
Oh,
ever
really?
been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me some exercises that it was good, but it was.
Yep.
I was like, he's like crouched down, sit against the wall, see how me squatching, do against the wall, this kind of stuff, and I was like, this is fucking torture.
No, you've got a
exercise. I
sore
don't
knee,
do
and
that.
so you went in and he was like, well, I'm going to make that really fucking sore till it's not
That's
sore
right.
anymore.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, you did something very exciting over the weekend that I'm very jealous about.
Go on.
You went to PAX East.
I did go to PAX East. I was only able to go on the Saturday and the Sunday because I've been away at Adobe Summit, which is less interesting than PAX. We could still talk about that a little bit later if anyone.
Which I found out because my neighbor works for
AI
Canva,
stuff.
and the Adobe Summit was on the same day as the Canva Summit, and I thought that was interesting.
Both similar topics, I assume, like AI stuff. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. But PAX is a lot smaller these days.
Is it?
I have to say, yeah. No major publishers. I think Focus Interactive was the biggest publisher.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think, I could be wrong, I don't even recall Tiny Build having a booth, which is very unusual.
Because I know, I love going down that huge escalator and letting you look out over the floor. So is that not all the way back?
Sorry, I lied. Nintendo was there. But
What
no.
were they showing off?
They
The
had,
last time they were here, there was Sonic.
there was some the new Zelda stuff. I don't think it was playable, But and then there was like the Yoshi's Yarn game that they've got going on. But I don't think anything new. Splatoon 3? Are they up to Splatoon 3? Or is it still 2?
Well, Splatoon 2's out.
Yeah, it must be. You know what? Maybe it was just stuff they already
But I don't know Nintendo, so...
Yeah.
Oh, no, there is a 3, evidently.
Yeah, okay. Right, I think that might have been what they were showing.
That's how much I know about Nintendo. It came out last year.
But yeah, so the tabletop area seemed like it was the same size as usual, which is interesting.
What about the indie space? Because that's the
lots of indie stuff. It was mostly indie stuff, and I think the biggest, most impressive booth was the Cult of the Lamb expansion was there, and it's just funny to me that like Cult of the Lamb was there last year as well, and it was kind of like an indie sized booth, and then I feel like it was the biggest, most elaborate one this year. It's just different. I think
they're still finding their feet after the whole lockdowns and everything being cancelled.
Yes,
again.
So we still have to wear masks all the time, which I'm fine with that. I was surprised by it, given America.
Oh, there's nowhere in Australia you have to wear masks anymore.
Well, it's weird, because like even in like
people
PAX
hate them
East, you
here.
don't need to wear a mask.
Yeah, no, you don't anywhere else here. Not even at the doctors anymore.
But so it's just sort of weird that they still have it there. Although it does sort of make sense because people go to that and get sick.
I think that.
But they did anyway
last year. But I mean, maybe they're just being cautious anyway. But it wasn't a big deal. So the tabletop area was like normal size. The games area was much smaller to me. Seems about half the size. And then in the middle were kind of like food trucks in a circle or a square rather, kind of taking up that space, which I thought was interesting. Yeah.
So to give the impression it's completely full, but.
Kind of, yeah. And because Jen and I were saying, like, all the booths that were there were still packed in as if there wasn't room for them to be spread out. And I don't know, it might have, I don't know what the decision there was, whether it was like to create a more intense experience where they were, or if it was just because they weren't sure.
Yeah, I find it so strange because I know the Australian one, it's even last year, even though some of like the major things weren't there, but everything was still sort of exactly the same, like the layout from front to back.
Yeah.
So sort of strange it's not getting the same over in Boston.
Yeah, it's just odd. I don't like it. No, Facebook, who had a big presence one year. Yeah, Facebook had a big Oculus stuff. They had a massive booth last time, either last year or the year. There wasn't one the year before. Whenever the one before last year was, I get confused about them.
They all blend in together.
Yeah, but no Microsoft, no Sony, no Square, no.
Yeah, for Xbox, Microsoft, we had a Lenovo booth that they teamed up with. So it wasn't Microsoft Xbox exactly, it was Lenovo, and they were showing off all the Xbox stuff.
Yeah.
But what's the fun stuff you saw?
It was just a lot smaller in general. One thing I did note, and it made me a little not worried about PAX, because I think PAX will continue regardless, even if it's different now, even if it is just indie stuff. But I noticed not a lot of PA Penny Arcade themed panels and things anymore. Like, didn't do Make a Strip. They did the 2 Q&A panels on the Thursday and the Friday, but it's Jerry and Chris Straub now because Mike doesn't go anymore. And it's kind of like the stuff that I used to do at PAX most isn't there so much anymore. Like, they had Acquisitions Inc., but they do that. Then now they're doing a web series of that too, which is a Kickstarter for. That's one thing I was looking at while I was there. There was a Kickstarter for they're calling it Season 2 of Acquisitions Inc. Mike will be in that because it's just going to be online. So it's them playing Dungeons and Dragons again. Yeah, just online. And so I don't know. And then couple that with, we've got some other news this week about another con. Well, not really a con. It used to be a trade show. It's kind of morphed into more of a con. But E3's cancelled.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, because of lack of interest from publishers. And that just made me think maybe these big publishers just aren't going to do this shit anymore.
No, I think E3, I think the problem is with E3 comes along, it's everything, everyone goes to it, and then all the big publishers go, we're not going to go to it anymore, but we're going to have a show on over here at the side, and they do their own thing. Yeah. So E3 is basically doing the advertising for them, but they're not going and contributing. So they go, well, we're not going to do it. Because everyone has their own. EA did, Microsoft did, Sony did, Nintendo. They all had their own E3 event that wasn't at E3. But
I mean, if that's the case, why? Like, would they still do PAX then? Why would they bother doing PAX if they're not going to do E3? Because E3 is no longer industry. It was going to be open to the general public. So it's just basically PAX again, but in Los Angeles, really. So I don't know. And it's also run by ReedPop, which is the same company that runs PAX now. So I don't know.
It just depends on. I say keep an eye on their sideshows. I think that's what they'll decide.
Yeah,
because I honestly think they were just using E3 to. They're getting the advertising, they're getting the interest from it, but they're not contributing to it directly. And I think that's why they've cut it. But they can't just keep doing that. Yeah,
I just wonder if PAX will become smaller. Like, will they still try and fill a big venue like that here? I mean, maybe I'm just mistaken. Maybe this year was an anomaly. They just like I said, we walked in and I was like, oh, it's quite small.
I'm shocked because I thought that would be bigger than... Because Australia's was great again. Like, it's... Yeah. We still had, the floor show was the same, the board game, and, well, really the stuff I go for is all the indie and the board game stuff.
Yeah.
And so those areas sort of remained the same.
Cause like Crokinole again. If like Crokinole, fucking great game. It's like a ye olde game where you have like a circular wooden kind of board made up, and you know that game where you play where you kind of throw the pucks along. I think they do it sometimes with beer glasses, and you put the little wax on the wood. Almost like bowling, but you slide something instead. Is it called
Sounds
shovel?
Dangerous with beer glasses.
Yeah. I forget what it's called. Anyway,
is this just a game you played in a pub?
No. This is a PAX. They're there every year. And we were talking about, we're going to buy one of these boards. It's just cool. It's like a big circular board with like circles in it. And then you flick these little pucks.
It's a Canadian game.
Yeah, okay. You familiar with it?
Yep. I know what it is now.
Crokinole.
You got to flick it and try and...
A traditional dexterity game.
Yeah, are you trying to get the one you flick into a hole, or are you trying to hit one into the hole?
There's a hole in the center. If you get yours in there and it's a valid shot, there are certain other parameters that determine what's a valid shot. But if you get yours in there, then that's 20 points, and you can take it out and pop it in the side, and those points can't be taken. But anywhere else on the board where you're located in the rings determines the points, and you can knock other people's out and stuff like that. A little bit like lawn bowls and those kind of games.
Yep.
But anyway, that's super fun. Actually, I think that was probably we spent the most time doing that because it was weird.
I'm still jealous. I'm still looking forward to PAX Australia.
Oh, Wormwood do desks now. Have you seen that? You know Wormwood? They do the really, really high-end gaming tables. They're fucking insane, but they're so expensive.
Oh, those ones that they're designed for, like D&D or just any board game.
Yeah, and they'll leave it. It's a dice tray, like it's a wooden dice tray with a bit of felt in it, right? Which you could get very cheap. These are like hundreds of dollars because it's just like pristine, beautiful wood. Like they're very high end.
But so expensive.
Cork sniff D&D stuff. But now they make desks, like sit-stand shifting desks. And they're fucking beautiful. I walked up and I was like, oh my God. I didn't even want to ask how much they were. Let's have a look.
But I do know these. They're the ones that you can hide all your components and then you can bring it out. Like there's different designs where you can stretch it out longer.
Fit into a little tray at the side.
Yeah,
Here we go. The modular desk. Wormwood.
Yeah.
$3,000.
$3,000.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Card organizer, cup holder, card caddy, universal hangers. Like there's a ton of stuff you can get with this.
But gaming tables. God, these things are so beautiful. How much are these? Few pricing.
Guys, PAX sounds good and all, but is there a con where all I do is watch Zack Snyder movies for 3 days? Because that's what I want. That's what I want.
You know what? You're in luck.
Oh, okay.
There is one now. I know.
How is this a thing?
I mean, I guess he organised it himself, maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. He's certainly got enough fans that... I mean, the thing is...
I don't know why. I saw his movies.
Yeah. And they... A lot of them flopped as well. But somehow he's the... I don't even know how to describe it. But I've noticed ever since Cavill... I mean, everyone hated Cavill. They didn't like it when he was cast as Superman. Nobody liked Man of Steel. Nobody liked Batman v Superman. And nobody at all liked Justice League. And yet, everyone's posted now, Cavill is the only Superman I'll go and see. It's like, what?
I know.
No, there's only one Superman, and it's Christopher Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
Was.
Yes.
That horse was made
till that kryptonite horse threw him onto that kryptonite ground.
But so, what are you doing at SnyderCon? Is it honestly just going to watch his movies?
So this is what we talked the other week about. There was this countdown, and everyone was like, "Is he convinced him to let him make another movie?" No, but the countdown was for SnyderCon, and it just seems like it is just. I mean, you watch the movies, and then he's there doing a Q&A, right? That's all this is.
Oh, I hate Q&As.
Q&A, signing, etc. I think there's, it's a bit of an event, but it's certainly not. It's called SnyderCon. It doesn't seem like a con. Well, maybe it's a con in the other way.
But they need to vet the questions.
Oh, yeah.
People ask stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There are other times when someone will ask like a great question, but then there's other times where people are just trying to show off how much knowledge they have about something.
That's why Penny Arcade Q&A, they pull the questions out of a box and they have people submit them beforehand, and someone back at the office goes through them and filters out the garbage.
And there's a lot.
That's how
it
should be.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dan, you and I experienced what happens when they don't do that.
We saw
at
some
a Penny
great
Arcade
garbage.
Q&A.
Yeah. Mind you, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. So
talk for 15 minutes about giving a script to them to give to Will Wheaton to give to Felicia Day.
That's it.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
But first they pitched it.
The answer was no.
Yeah, that's right.
And that just takes everybody's time away from everyone else.
That's what I'm saying,
in that room.
It just ruins it for everybody because it's embarrassing for the question asker, whether they realize it or not. It's embarrassing for the person on stage, and it's embarrassing for everybody else. And
but then I've also been to others where sort of the host of it is asking the questions, and it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. You need to shut up as well.
I hate that. I hate
not Blue Hat Guy at Supernova.
Blue Hat Guy.
Yeah, your nemesis.
My nemesis.
I went to a Q&A with Alfonso Cuarón, the filmmaker.
Oh, yeah.
You know him?
Yeah. Well, not personally, but yeah.
No, but you know his films, his fucking excellent films.
I do.
Yeah, like Children of Men, for example. Like
didn't he do Gravity?
Gravity. Yeah. So
okay,
we were seeing him, and he's like, he sits down. We watch his latest film. It's curated. The curator comes in, and he goes, "Look, I assume if you're here, you're into film, or you're a film student, or you're film buff. So let's get technical. Ask me anything. Like, really, let's just get into it. Let's just get technical."
Mm-hmm.
And some of the questions that this curator said were like, how did the actors know not to look into the camera, but to only look at each other?
Was it Philomena Kunk asking the question?
Oh, man. Okay. So we got to talk about Philomena Kunk because I finally watched the last episode of Kunk on Earth, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, I mean, I always like what she does. Kunk on Earth is one of the best, for sure, things that she has done.
So funny.
But that final episode was so good. When she is talking to that British military historian, he's a huge unit of a man, squeezed into what I assume is the tiniest suit ever.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. And then she's talking about nuclear weapons. She's like, well, there's no nuclear weapons now, right? He's like, no.
It's a good thing we've got rid of them all.
Yeah. He goes, no, there's still nuclear weapons. She starts to cry. And I don't know how she give her the Academy Award.
She's a great actress. Yeah.
She starts to cry. He just stiffens up. And she's like, can we just please talk about something else? I'm just really upset now. He's like, we can talk about anything you want. She's like, do you like ABBA? He's like, I fucking love ABBA. She's like, what's your favorite ABBA song?
I love ABBA.
Yeah.
The way he says that is so
what's your favorite
good.
ABBA song? He's like, Dancing Queen. Like, he just goes with it so well. And this is after however long of
So
just being
funny.
asked inane questions as well.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Just the way he says, I love ABBA. Because he's like trying to reach out to her, like, don't be upset.
But he's also, he's a military historian. He is like a bloke's bloke. Yeah. He's like, just, oh,
I love ABBA.
I think there's a missing
Dancing
episode
Queen.
of that.
Oh,
really?
I have a feeling, just because there's only 5 episodes.
And there's always
they
6
don't
in
do
Britain.
5 episodes, it's always 6. If there was 4, I'd go okay, but 5 seems a bit
I love
off
it.
to me.
She's slagging off, in the Christian episode, the religion episode, she's slagging off Jesus, and then she's like, don't worry, we'll get to Islam next.
Yeah. The Bible or Quran, which one's best? Well, she goes, the Quran. He goes, Quran. So that one then, is it?
Yeah.
She goes, so funny. Yeah. I watched, on YouTube, they did, I guess, a Q&A We're talking about how Q&A suck. This one was quite good with Charlie Brooker and her.
Oh,
and
wow.
one of the producers talking after a screening of Conquer on Earth. It was quite interesting. They're very funny.
I need Charlie Brooker to start doing
general.
his yearly reviews again. They were magnificent. Did you ever watch those?
I've seen one or two of them, yeah.
Yeah, they're excellent. They're excellent. Same dry wit as Philomena Kunk, but just without the character.
Well, I think he writes, because she performs it, but it was written.
Yeah.
Because she talks about how she auditioned for it, and they wanted her to be like a posh British lady.
Right, she's like,
and she said, "Can I just do it in my accent?" She goes, "Because I think it's funnier if I just talk like normal."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Bear with me on this." And then they're like, "Sure." And then she did it, and they're like, "You're fucking hired."
Yeah. Because what is that? As Yorkshire or West Country, it's an unusual. It's like a farmer's accent.
Yeah, right. But it's fitting because you go, "Is she dumb?"
Yeah.
Like, because if she's talking posh, you go, "This is a bit."
Yes.
But with her, the way she is, it's just like, is this real or not? Like, she kind of sucks him in a bit more.
Yeah. King Arthur came a lot, didn't he?
Thoughts move about through your head through pipes. We know that, don't we? Oh, I'm not sure we do know that.
Oh, well, we do.
No, we do. We do.
They do.
So anyway, that is how it works. So, do you think the thoughts get stuck sometimes?
Yeah. There was one, I can't remember what, but he just asked something inane, like of a professor. It was like, "Well, what did they eat for breakfast?" He's like, "Oh, I don't really know about their culinary habits." She's like, "Right, bit of a waste getting you in then, wasn't it?" So good. I'm watching another British series.
Invented or perfected anal bleaching.
Yeah, I can't say it was either.
It's one or the other. It's got to be one or the other.
Got to pick one.
It's got to be one or the other.
Perfected then. Watching another British show at the moment. A couple of episodes from the end. Luke, I mentioned this when you and I were just doing one a few weeks ago. It's called Rogue Heroes in the credits, but it's on the browser. It's called SAS Rogue Heroes. It's a bit cheesy and it's unashamedly British, but it's about the first British paratrooper brigade in World War II, and they're just cocky bastards that just want to kill Nazis. And so they just kind of go off on their own and start their own thing. Great cast. Very cool. Just fun to watch. Doesn't ask anything of you. You know what I mean? Just fun.
Fun, over the top.
Super over the top. I mean, it's violent when there's battles. It's war, you know. But these guys are just Mary Sues, for the lack of any other term. They just, they're just great at everything, and was obviously conceived by somebody who either was in the SAS or just really worshipped them. You know.
Cool. I've been watching my favorite British comedy show, potentially. Would I Lie to You? Because I noticed that's on BritBox.
Yeah, Would I Lie to You?
That show, every episode I laugh out loud several times. It's so funny. So, if you have not watched it, listeners, highly recommend that. It's very funny.
Who hosts
that asks nothing
now?
of you.
Is it Rob Brydon still? Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, good. And like the two, because David Mitchell, possibly my favorite British comedian.
Yeah,
he's so fucking funny. And then Lee Mack, who captains the other team.
Great.
Yeah,
he is so quick.
I
cannot believe
his
the shit he comes out.
You know,
with.
he's a professional darts player.
Is he?
Is he?
Yeah, he holds the.
That was a lie.
I believe that he hangs out in pubs a lot. So
he used to hold the world record for getting like the most 20s in a minute or something. Like, I don't know. He holds world records in darts. But yeah, you can see him hanging out in a pub.
Yeah. No, he's good. He's good.
Yeah, they get to have some good guests too. I fucking love. Do you know James Acaster?
Yes,
he is so funny. Good show.
You need to watch Taskmaster.
I do. He's on that. I know that he's on that. YouTube told me that.
Yes.
He's a funny dude. All right. I want to hear about something that Dan purchased.
Yeah. So, I mean, several months ago, perhaps a year ago, when they announced the A500 Mini, I assume that's what you're referring to, Matt?
Correct.
Well, what else have you purchased?
Nothing, because I'm broke.
Because it all went to the A500 Mini.
Well, I was tossing up. Sorry, I just need a minute. Hold on.
He's just all choked up with nostalgia.
Yeah.
hold that thought. I need a drink.
Yeah, no worries.
I like to think we now if we talk, he can still hear us. You just can't say anything back.
Yeah, that's right. He can't stop us from talking.
No, nothing he can do.
Nope.
Do I need some optical lens cleaning wipes? I can get 120 for $13.
You guys have the opportunity to talk behind my back without me being able to retort, and you go with optical wipes as the topic?
Oh, that's what we call you behind your back.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, I'm back. Luke, when we were first talking about this, and I said I wanted one, you said just get it because you'll end up getting it. And I said, I don't know if it's worth the money, and I probably won't get one. And there's emulators, and you're like, well, you will end up getting it, so it doesn't matter when you spend that money, because you will buy one.
That money is gone.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
You just don't know it yet.
Amiga has that money.
Schrödinger's money.
Yeah, exactly. And, of course, you were right. And I've looked at this. I've bookmarked it on Amazon so many times. I've gone into JB Hi-Fi saying, if they've got it on the shelf, I'm just walking home with it.
I'm going to get it. Yeah.
They never do. I don't know what brought me over the line, but what brought me over the line was I almost bought a fucking Commodore 64 Mini, and then I almost bought a Commodore 64 Maxi, and then I'm like, what am I doing? I still haven't even bought the Amiga one. Like, and I just did it. It was like 10
the one that you really want.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm up late. I'm playing games. You know, I'm just using the RetroArch, and I'm like, I'm just going to get the fucking thing. So a couple of things. One, it's great. No buyer's remorse. It's an adorable little thing. I'm almost tempted to also get a little monitor and set it up here like its own little computer. I'm really, really tempted to do that. Been playing games. I've put RetroArch on it so that it can kind of just be a catch-all for all retro games. And,
that's interesting. Can you do that? I mean, I have the Mini and I have a C64 Mini.
Not
but I've been
all
away,
of them.
So
I think the C64, you can put certain other things on it, but I don't know if you can just run a native RetroArch on it. The Amiga Mini, you can.
That's cool.
And it works pretty well. And it's good that it does, because I'll say this. After spending the week playing some Amiga games, I've got to admit, the Amiga... I have overly romanticized this computer over the last 35 years. These games, the games that are really good, I've been playing this whole time really anyway. Good. Monkey Island.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? Like, Fate of Atlantis. All of these things. And, you know, a Flashback, Another World, these games that were made for the Amiga and ported onto DOS and all of these other consoles.
Yeah, they continued on through other systems due to there. Yeah.
All of these Amiga...
There's a lot of shit.
Man, there's some shit. There's so much shit. And I'm scrolling through these Amiga games and then just ending up playing SNES games, you know, because they just age better, because you can always play a dopey platformer. But Amiga, because it was 16-bit, they really did rely on really leaning into having great graphics and great animation. And I think a lot of the times the gameplay could take a second. It was, we just loved looking at the pretty pictures. And I really do think that it means that a lot of, like the Commodore 64, I've been playing a fair few C64 games on emulator in the last couple of weeks as well. But the good games on that are very, very good, because they knew their graphical limitations. So they're like, well, how do we just make this really fun and really engaging? And
the way that because I've been reading a blog that came out as an ebook about the history of, you know, those old systems, and the things they had to do on the Commodore 64 in particular to make it just do things, to have enough stuff on the screen, that kind of stuff where you've got to do, like, between every scan line, you have to jump around and start jumping between sprites, because you can only have a certain number of sprites on the screen at the same time. So like it would just like flick and draw. It's just like, fuck, man. Like, compared to the tools we have these days, like Unity and, you know, Unreal Engine, all that kind of stuff, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, these programmers were fucking amazing.
Yeah, they started with nothing. It's not like you just go to the marketplace and I'll just download this and I'll use this asset. It's
which pre-built engine will I use? No.
Well, my favorite Amiga game, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, Flashback. The guy who made that had to teach himself or essentially write his own computer language in order to make the game. And he also had to teach himself to draw and teach himself how to draw pixel by pixel. And, the only thing he didn't do was the music. He got his mate to come and write music for it. And that, I love these games that just have one author,
Yeah. Well, that was the dream when I was young, and then it changed.
Yeah. Games used to be like you'd have one person go and create, and that was it. I remember even Atari games, it was sort of like, hey, you're going to go, we need you to make a game, you go off and make it and give it back to us.
Go make E.T.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, that was a mistake.
Yeah. You've got 24 hours. Straight to the landfill
with those.
Yeah, he got like less than 2 weeks or something. It was something ridiculous to go and make the game.
I have ET, by the way.
Do you?
You do?
You have a cartridge, or is it?
Yeah. It's over there.
I've played it. I played it, but
I played it as well.
It's awful.
I didn't
buy it to play it.
Yeah,
because all it is, that whole game is you
it.
walking around, falling into a hole. The hole might have something that you need to pick up to go and build the telephone radio antenna. Yeah, and then you get out of the hole.
Mind you,
fall in a hole.
Any Atari 2600 game that tried to be more than just shooting pixels at other pixels failed. Because,
basically,
the one I'm thinking of, if you made it too complicated or even complex at all, you lost because it didn't.
I'm going to say one thing: Pitfall.
Yeah,
Pitfall
was great.
Pitfall, great.
Okay? Pitfall, Frogger, fucking anything in that genre is great.
That Empire Strikes Back game is good.
Yes, but you know what's not good? Raiders of the Lost Ark, because it's not simple. You got to search rooms. Oh, what does a door look like? It just looks like part of a wall. How do you know which parts? And by the way, some parts kill you. Like,
they just tried to do too much. Keep it simple.
I bought another game this week, and I bought it twice. And the reason I bought it twice was I'd read a very good review on a game from 2017 called Stories Untold, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
So it's not a brand new game.
Hang on. Stories Untold.
It looks like Stranger Things, and in fact, they got the guy who designed the Stranger Things logo to design the logo for this. So if you think it's a rip-off, it's not.
I do know what this is.
Okay, so let me tell you what this is and why you should definitely pay it $15 on Steam for this right now. So I bought this on Switch because I'd heard of it, and then it came up on the Switch store, and I thought, I'm going to grab that. And I started playing it, and it's a text adventure. It is an old-timey text adventure, and you play it sitting at an old computer, right? But that is not Switch-friendly, right?
No.
So, for starters, they've had to come up with some other kind of way of controlling it without typing. And also, it's just really difficult to read text on the Switch at the times. But I liked it enough, and I knew I would like it enough that I just went to Steam, and I bought it on Steam as well. So, it's a horror game. It's very, very simple, but it's incredibly atmospheric. And, Luke, you do have to read, so I'm not going to tell you should.
Oh.
I'm going to tell you something that might shock you. I've already purchased that game and finished it 100%.
There you go.
Because you get all the achievements in about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's not a long game. It's not a long game. And you can't save. You have to complete, I think there's 3 or 4 chapters, and you've got to play all the way through each one.
And there's 4 episodes, and if you use a walkthrough, it's very easy.
It's not difficult either, but it is fun.
I'm no longer surprised that you've played through it.
Yeah. But Matt, you will enjoy this.
All right, I'll check it out. Yeah, that's cool. I've been playing, while I was away, I got the chance to play some Metroid Prime.
Oh, yes.
Remaster on my Switch.
Oh, on the Switch.
It's fucking incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's Metroid Prime, but it looks nicer, and it's on the Switch. So it came with me to California. Love it.
Oh, great. Good opportunity. Yeah.
And I figured out a little tip for traveling listeners when you're on the go. If you're in a hotel and you plug something into the USB port, like your Nintendo Switch, or a Fire Stick, which I also took with me so I could watch episodes of Knight Rider.
Yep.
And you find that the TV doesn't let you switch inputs or anything like that, take a little peek around the back and you might find what looks like those old style RJ45 phone jacks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? There'll be a box on the back that controls everything, and there'll be a cable going from that into the TV. Looks like an old phone cable.
Yeah.
Just pop that out, turn the TV off, turn it back on again, and you'll be right.
Oh.
The TV will function like a normal TV.
Oh, interesting.
Excellent.
I don't know if I plugged that back in before I left. But that's someone else's problem. I just realised.
Well, that was over a week ago. They haven't called you about it.
No.
Yeah, either no one's noticed and therefore it's not a problem, or someone fixed it.
Yeah.
I actually recently stayed at a place and there was a problem with the television. If you turned the television off, when you turned it back on, you had to unplug the set-top box to get the television to work again. It was really annoying, and I couldn't work out. It can't be normal.
No.
It doesn't sound
Using the
normal.
remote, turned it off, turned it on, and then nothing would happen until I reset the set-top box. Who knows?
Speaking of TV, you know the most exciting premiere for me right now is that next week, season 4 of Bluey comes out.
Oh. Don't even have all of season 3 here yet.
What? There's some great episodes in season 3.
I know that my favourite Bluey episode, which is Grandma Mobile, is in the second half of season 3.
Here come the grannies!
It's the one where Muffin is the old woman, argues with
the grumpy old lady. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that episode.
Fucking so funny.
My two favourite episodes, there's one where the 3 boys play space, right?
Yeah.
And they go up into space, and one of them gets depressed and walks into a black hole and sees himself as a child on the other side. Amazing. And there's the other one that's my favourite is where there's a new kid at school.
That's also in the second half season.
Yeah, and these are both in the second series. I think there's one where one kid's dad is away deployed in the army, and so he just plays armies at school, and it's just one lunchtime play is the episode, and it's just him on maneuvers. It's amazing.
Rusty, right? Because
Rusty.
Okay, the show was originally called Rusty.
What?
And it was him and you'll notice this now that I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
Rusty is Bluey, a different color.
Oh, wow. Right. Yeah. Okay.
It's just not.
What?
Yeah. And it was originally about him, and then they said, no, it needs to be more colorful. What's a more colorful dog that's Australian? Oh, blue cattle dog. Like, all right, it's blue, and make it a girl.
Wow.
It's Bluey.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you look on YouTube, there's an unaired pilot.
Is there?
And it's awful.
Is it?
It's Bandit takes Bluey to the park, and he's supposed to be pushing her on the swing, but he's ignoring her.
Right.
Just on his phone.
Okay.
Just like being like a negligent.
Oh, wow. Which is like the
dad.
opposite of how he is in the show.
And he's like pushing her and pushing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just so odd. And he's like pushing, and she's like higher and higher and higher, and he keeps pushing until she actually does a loop.
Oh.
And that's the
episode. Huh.
That's it. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, they fucking greenlit this off that.
You know who the voice of the
different.
dad is?
I do. It's the singer of Custard.
Yeah. Remember Custard, Luke? Girls like
I do.
that.
I still listen to them.
They still release albums. They're still a band.
And he's the voice of the dad on Bluey. Arguably one of the best characters. They're all the best characters.
Yeah, but he's definitely.
It's just one of those shows.
I also love the episode
I've never seen
Explorers, when it's Hamish Blake plays Jake's dad.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets lost at going to the school.
Yeah.
And you don't know where your son's school is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like...
This is GPS.
It says only 4-wheel drives can go past here.
Yeah.
And what's our car? It's an all-wheel drive. And how many wheels do we have? 4! Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. It's a good episode.
The writing in this fucking show is incredible. It's incredible.
I wish I had kids so I could watch
just
it.
From
watch it.
Argentina,
Just
are you?
have a joint.
No.
Yeah.
So good. Oh yeah, and that one of my favorite gags in it, like the gags that are for the adults, is when they're doing the reenactment of Chili and Bandit meeting. The kids are doing a reenactment of the parents meeting.
Yeah.
And then they're doing the play, and then they go, "Where did you guys meet?" And then Chili goes, "Oh, at a party in England." And they go,
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the Queen's there in the play.
Yeah.
And then Chili goes, "I don't remember the Queen being there." And then Bandit goes,
You
you wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So
and there's
funny.
some episodes, like there's one episode that's about how the sister can't have kids. Like, have you seen that one? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, there's an episode in the 3rd season called Rain. Have you seen that one? It's completely
So
silent.
Bluey's trying to block the path.
Yeah, they're just trying to
path.
block the water going down the drain. It's amazing.
The music in that episode is...
The music in every
it's
episode.
such a good show. Yeah.
One guy does
It's a
all the
great
score
show.
for that. Yeah.
Geoff Bush.
Yeah. Amazing.
Good shit. And this has been Blueygasm.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's not call it that.
Is there, bronies? Grown men who like My Little Ponies? Is there like grown men
Bloonies?
who like...
The problem is, everybody likes Bluey.
Yeah, yeah. It's impossible not
Have
to.
you watched it, Luke?
No.
I think you'd like it.
It's actually
I'll be
good,
honest.
Luke. Yeah, you
I
could
think
just
you'd
put
I
like
it on.
probably would, but yeah, I'm not going to put it on.
I mean,
Because
they're
it's the
short.
type of story you put on for your kids and then you get sucked into it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get sucked into it because I don't have the kids to start with that.
man.
I think you might. You might.
Yeah.
I think you might. It's pretty
Yeah.
funny.
You watch a lot of cartoons. Luke.
I watch Robotech, one cartoon, over and over and over, which is how children watch cartoons.
So before we get off, I mean, we segued a little bit. Before we get off game programming and game programmers, and when games were just one person programming, or sometimes two people, but sometimes only one of them gets an award. John Romero is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. I think John Romero has a fucking nerve getting any award that he doesn't co-share with John Carmack. But that's my opinion.
Yeah.
What's he done on his own? Daikatana.
That's fair. I guess. Well, this was for his work on Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein, and more.
So, no. What's the and? That's what you mean.
But,
You're skipping the and more. That's just Daikatana. And that's the only one he didn't do with John Carmack.
Name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look, John Carmack's going to get his own if he already hasn't.
I imagine John
If he
Carmack
even wants
strikes me
one,
as somebody
he's
who'd
probably
be like,
I'm not wasting my time with games
I
anymore.
don't care about any of this.
Yeah.
I'm in it for just the work.
Yeah.
Whereas Romero was like, I would love an award. Thanks very much.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I remember once he got a T-shirt made for his mum that said, "I'm John Romero's mum."
He's a funny dude. I think the very long John Carmack Lex Fridman episode, which is very good. I think there's a bit where Carmack says that Romero was always more interested in that stuff than him, than the fame and the fortune.
Mind you,
like
he still works
Carmack said,
fucking hard, and he's still very, very talented.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But he's the rock star.
Yeah, and he's not the best game designer. He's a hard worker and he's a good programmer and he's good, but he, as proven with Daikatana, he got ahead of himself a bit, and he maybe didn't realize it's not just him.
Yeah, especially since the poster for Daikatana, like pre-release poster, was just the words "John Romero is about to kick your ass" or something like that.
Yeah, or make you his bitch.
Make you his bitch. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
Yeah.
No, but him and Carmack were one
like
of those.
A lovely guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I adore him, but it's just
very.
But I think it's funny too. Like I'll happily listen to him tell me how good he is, and I do. I love all of his games, except Daikatana.
Yeah.
But it's like when you see interviews with Matt Stone, right? And and he's like, I am 1/10 of the talent of Trey Parker, but Trey can't do it without me. So we are a partnership. He does way more work. He's way more talented. He comes up with more of the jokes. He's made more of the characters, but I'm the one who makes him make those things up. So he has to have me there. And I think the Carmack Romero relationship is similar. They are both at their best when they're together riffing on each other.
They're together.
Yeah. Because Carmack is just happy and content to sit there in the dark at his computer and just fucking, like, if you say, oh, that can't be done, he's like, watch this.
Yeah. Hand me a bit of cold pizza and I'll see you tomorrow.
Like Commander Keen, he literally figured out how to just use the limitations of the video cards that were in the computer to do a side-scrolling game. It didn't work if you had any other video card than the ones that were out at that time. They had to go back later and change the game to make it work because it literally relied upon like glitches.
I just did some quick research. John Carmack got the Lifetime Achievement Award in 2010.
Oh, fuck. There you go. So it took 13 more years for them to give Romero one. Wow. Okay.
I mean, I think by that time it was clear Carmack deserved it.
Yeah. And now we've come around.
Like, modern video games are heavily reliant on the work he did.
Yes.
On his own, in the dark.
Yeah. Some of my favourite things I've done have been on my own in the dark, Matt. Like,
literally, there's that story, like, they all, I think it's in Masters of Doom, where everybody was like, well, we're going home, and Carmack's like, oh, I'm going to stay. And then everybody went home, came back the next day, and he's like, "I've made a 3D engine overnight."
Yeah.
And then they were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Well, that essentially happened with Commander Keen too. Like, he just stayed late one night when Romero got there in the morning.
Oh, that's right. It was Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, he's like, I made Super Mario on the PC.
And then they approached Nintendo, and Nintendo were like, "No, thanks."
Yeah.
And they're like, "All right,
Fine.
Yep.
now
The
it's Commander
computer
Keen."
is not for games. Ridiculous.
No, he's a smart dude. Step down. Carmack stepped down from Facebook recently.
Yeah.
To go work on AI on his own.
Oh, so I've been okay. So, just in the couple of minutes we've got left, I had a 3-hour conversation with ChatGPT on Friday night a week ago.
Are you okay?
Because
Or are you trying to make it racist?
I say conversation. No, mate. I wrote a synopsis for a science fiction story that I want to write with ChatGPT as my brainstorm buddy, right? It is the perfect co-writer. It will tell you when ideas have been done before. It will suggest to you ways of changing that idea into maybe a way, what hasn't been done is this. And then you can say, because I said something like this, and then we kind of nutted something out, and then I said, oh, is this just the thing now? Are we just copying the thing? And he wrote back, well, no, because the thing's more about the paranoia of this, blah, blah, blah. What you're suggesting is more like this. And I'm like, yeah, okay. All right, cool. He's like, yeah, so just lean into that. I'm like, right, okay, cool. Thanks. Okay, so stay on topic. And then at one point, I'm like, okay, what if it was not an alien? What if it was like an ancient Sumerian god? And he's like, yeah, okay, so there's an ancient Sumerian god called Enkidu, and he does the kind of things that you've just described the alien does. What about that? I'm like, okay, great. That's like something that you've just researched in real time that I can now just add in. Like, it's amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
I still don't even know. How do I get to it?
So I've heard there's a queue now for it. I've got an account already.
Yeah, I got an account too.
I signed up ages ago. Yeah, I think we might have lucked out there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I unless there's some version of it that I'm not using.
Where do I go? I'll find out.
Hold on, I've saved it. Let me look. And I thought I was pretty cool for doing that until the next day where I was telling my boss that I was doing that, and he told me that he spent the weekend playing Dungeons and Dragons with his son with ChatGPT as the dungeon master. And I was like, that's genius. That is
How
genius.
would that work? Do you have to type in what you're doing back?
Yeah, so basically, as they were coming up with the game, he was telling the computer, telling ChatGPT what they were doing, and ChatGPT was coming up with the next bit of the scenario for them.
Huh.
And calculating the odds, etc.
Interesting.
Yeah. This is pretty cute too, because my son's boss is only 5 or 6 years old, right? So he's quite young for D&D. So his character is this little elf who is going on an adventure with his dad, and part of his character is he always has to ask his dad for permission before he does anything. So so it's like it's built into the game that he's not going to be able to make all the decisions on his own, which I thought was very cute.
All right, I'm in. What do I do? Hello.
Oh.
Am I cool?
Are you?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We've started using ChatGPT at work. We have the voice to text command on during our meetings, and then we ask ChatGPT to just come up with minutes, and it just reformats everything into minutes. This person said this at this time. This person said this. This decision was made.
That means we could transcribe this show.
Absolutely.
All right. I guess
we could make it listen to every episode and then do our wiki for us.
Oh, that's a great idea.
We can get the list of all the Geek of the Weeks.
Oh my God, let's do this. Let's make it listen to every episode, then ask it to write its own episode.
I'm just going to say, yes. I'm going to try. I'm just going to say, hey, multiplenerdgasm.com. Just go listen to every episode. Let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if it is now an expert on our show. Ask it if it's listened to multiple.
Hold on, I want to know if it thinks Luke's cool. Listeners, if you want to know whether or not ChatGPT thinks Luke is cool, we're going to discuss and find out in the after party. So head over to patreon.com/multiplenerdgasm, sign up, and you can get a little bit extra each week. The rest of you, well, you have to stop here, I'm afraid.
You'll never know whether Luke's cool.
You'll never, ever know.
Oh no.
My mom says I'm cool.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.